So yeah, I want to talk attitude. Attitude wins the game. I always remember a guy that I was with in a mastermind group, and him saying that success is a choice. And initially I couldn't get my head around that. And then when I actually thought about it, I thought, yeah, it is. Success is a choice, because it's about what we do, what action we're actually taking. So I think of things like, if, for example, you wanted a particular role within a business, most people would do a CV, and then they'd sit back and hope that they're going to get the job. But the kind of person that I want to employ is the kind of person that approaches me who says they're going to do something above and beyond. So when they offer to do something free, they offer to give up some time. They catch your eye because they're doing something above what everyone else is doing. I think people that are in jobs, how they get promoted a lot quicker again is all attitude. So if you think of, say, 10 people in a business, be the person that gets in 10 minutes before everyone else does. Be the person that leaves 5 minutes after everyone else has gone. It's no coincidence at all that Cristiano Ronaldo is deemed the best football player to ever live, walk planet Earth. He scored more goals than any footballer ever. And it's because of the way that he's lived his life. If you look at him, he's an athlete. Look at his body. Look at what he puts into his body. Alex Ferguson and the people that were at Man United at the time said he was first one in the club, last one to leave, doing free kicks. So it's how much do you want it? I look at a lot of athletes and people that I see with so much potential, and they're just not putting that commitment in. They're not doing the graft that they should be doing. They're not doing the work that they should be doing. Well, that goes for us all. It goes for you right now. If you've got no money at all, nothing at all, and you want to change your situation, and you follow that belief if you need money to make money, which is not true. There's so much you could be doing right now. You could be out exercising, you could be making yourself fitter, you could be making yourself stronger, you could clean up your diet a little bit, set some goals, start having some direction rather than just letting life happen to you. Let life happen through you by you having some very clear targets. Focus on what you want. Set yourself some yearly goals. Start reading some books. Start looking at wherever you want to be, who's in a position where you'd like to be, someone who's succeeding. Start reading some books. Stop watching the fucking news. Stop reading newspapers. Have a look at the people you put yourself around, and just start looking at how you can improve yourself, develop yourself. What can you read? What can you listen to? Because by doing these things, you're going to improve yourself, and your results are only ever going to be an extension of you. So I think of a job that I applied for. It had a couple of thousand applicants when I left the army. And I put a picture on the front of it with me with my top off in Iraq. And I'd done that because I knew I needed to grab the bloke's attention. And he actually rang me up and said, I've got your CV here. Can you explain why there's a picture of you half naked? And I said, well, it said on your job application that you'd had 2,000 applicants and not taken anyone, and you were opening it up again, so I knew I needed to grab your attention. And he said to me, I think it's genius. He said, my wife and kids think you're a prat, but you've got my attention. And I didn't end up getting the job with that guy, but we've become very good friends now. He's a very, very wealthy guy, and we've done a lot of business together. And that's just because I got myself out there. So you don't have to be the brightest person. You just have to be above the rest. And most people aren't prepared to do anything. So it's actually quite easy to succeed. It's a lot easier than people think. All you've got to do is be one step ahead of the average. And the average is such a low benchmark. Like I say, people who apply for jobs, they'll just put a CV in. They don't go through the effort of maybe shooting a video or ringing up and speaking to the director or learning about that business and going, this is what I've learned about your business and this is what I think I can bring to the team. So it's just going that one step ahead. You'll never ever outperform your attitude. It's as simple as that. You can have all the knowledge, all the skills in the world, but if you don't have the attitude, you're not achieving anything in life. As simple as that. So attitude is 80% of your success. I'm sure you all can resonate with the people at school who got the 10A stars and they didn't achieve anything. They've not really done much with it. Yet the guys like myself who didn't do well at school but had that attitude to go for something and set clear goals, achieved a lot more, because attitude is way more important than skills and knowledge. So start to look at what you're doing with your life. When people say to me, I'd love to get on your training but I'm not in a position to do that. If that was me and I knew some training could change my life, I'd be fucking working a part-time job. I'd work so many shifts on a weekend to get that money. I'd be looking at solutions. I'd be looking at, do I need to stop fucking smoking? Do I need to sacrifice drinking? So in the early days, I made so many fucking sacrifices. I look back and me and Gemma were making 100 grand a year and I was driving around in all cars because all of that money was going into property. It was all being reutilised. We were moving from house to house. We renovated about 6 houses and I lived in a shithole. I was coming back from Afghan and Iraq and I was living in houses with no hot water, no heating in fucking winter, because I didn't want to get a second mortgage. I didn't want that risk of that. I didn't really understand. I mean, that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But the point I'm making is I made them sacrifices. And when I went to Oman, which was in 2001, everyone that was on that tour with me, and there's probably people that come on this live and they'll be able to vouch for this, we got 1 day off a week. And the guys used to go stay in a nice hotel because it was red hot. It's the fucking hottest place in the world. It's just fucking ridiculous. 55-degree temperature. I've never felt anything like it. It makes Afghan and Iraq seem like a fucking cool place. Oman's just a different level. And on the day off, they were going and staying in a nice hotel. They were having like drinks, chilling around the pool. And I stayed in my hotel. I stayed in my tent, fucking my red hot tent. And I didn't even buy a fan. So the guys had fans in the tents. And I didn't even buy a fan. It was ridiculous. You couldn't sleep. And I made them sacrifices because I knew I needed a 10% deposit to buy my very first house in 2001. And when I came back from there, I bought it in the October. And that house went from 35 grand. I sold it for 118,000. And that came because I made them sacrifices. So look at yourself now. Are you prepared to make sacrifices? Because if you do, you can completely change your life. You can transform yours and your family's life forever. But it's not going to be given to you. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you've got, how much skills you've got. If you don't have that attitude, you're not willing to put that graft in, you're not willing to make sacrifices, you're not willing to do above and beyond what anyone else is, then you're just going to blend in like everyone else. So success is a choice. It's down to you. It's down to what you put in. And I just have a little look at this. So I had a week and a half holiday in Dubai in January, and then I had a week in February when the kids broke up, and now I've got another 2 weeks on holiday. So what's that? 4.5 weeks and we're in April. And that's because of them sacrifices I made in the early days. So I'm able to live a life now that where I don't have to think about money. I don't have to make sacrifices anymore. But I still live my life a certain way. I still have a certain standard, because too many people succeed and then they stop doing the things that they were doing to get them there, i.e. setting goals, having a clear vision, building relationships, having high standards, holding yourself accountable, learning and developing yourself. And that shit should never stop. You should be doing that constantly. So come on, talk to me. Andrew Wills, hotter than the sun. Yeah, it is as well. Sometimes books and audio books can relight your passion. Yeah, absolutely. Any book recommendations, Steve? Yeah. What would I recommend? Some books that I love. Some are Robin Sharma's books. So Leading Without a Title, great book. Very easy to read as well. So I like nice, simple Janet and John books. I also like The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, another Robin Sharma book. That's a great book. Conversations with God, 1, 2 and 3. There is a 4th book, and I've actually brought book 1 back out of me while I'm out here, so I'm reading that again. I've read it a few times. But I like audio. A great audio, if you don't like reading, is Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. Have a look at that, check that out, Outwitting the Devil. Just a great audio, so powerful, of how we're all going through our life and how we're controlled and conditioned by society. What book do you recommend for changing your thinking about money? I prefer audio. I do read books, but I don't read a lot. I maybe read 3 to 5 books a year. I do loads of audio though, YouTube. Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. Every single person should have to read that when they're at school or listen to it. Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. Strongly recommend you check it out. Talks into what I'm saying about attitude. John, I lost my wife and full-time dad, and now full-time dad with a pub business. Any advice how to overcome the bereavement and try to find the drive again? Yeah, absolutely, John. My advice on that would be, how would your wife want you to live your life? So you are probably living it in a way where you feel that you've got to do certain things. You're not allowed to move on because of maybe guilt and things like that. But that's not how your wife would want you to live your life. Just the same as if you were to pass away, you wouldn't want your wife or your children, your parents, your mates to be sad. You'd want them to live your best life. So what I do with loved ones that I've lost, like my mum was only 62, and if I think about my mum, all I do is I make sure I make that day a little bit better. I'm a little bit better to other people. I'm a little bit nicer, or I put a bit more effort into something that I'm going to do, and then I dedicate that extra 10-20% to my mum. I go, that was for you. Think about what she would want. Start setting some goals. Start looking forward. Focus is going to control your thoughts, and your thoughts are controlling emotions. So this is why goals are so important. Having goals, because they keep you focused on something. And if you've got focus on something, then that's going to drive emotion. Emotion's going to drive motivation. It's going to drive your passion to do something. So set some goals. Currently making these sacrifices in a quarter that's falling to bits. How do you define falling to bits, John Paul? If you mean it's not going as you want, take the learns from it, because the likelihood is those learns that you're getting is exactly what you need in order to move to the next level. So I'm sure there's some very powerful learns in whatever you feel like's falling apart. I think of Albert Einstein and his little saying of, we can't solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them. We've got to think at a higher level. Whatever them problems are, they were created by a certain level of thinking. So how do you think at a higher level? Lorna, I love books and audio when driving or working. Yeah, absolutely. So it's about utilising your time, I agree. So I listen to audio on a night. I put my phone, I tend to listen to audio, certain ones I listen to, and I put my phone under my pillow and I just go to sleep, listen to them. What podcast do you listen to? I don't listen to any podcast, but there's certain people I listen to, and I go on YouTube. So I love Napoleon Hill. Most of these people I listen to have passed away. They left powerful messages for us hundreds of years ago, but we just don't listen to them. Some of these books have sold 100 million copies. So things like Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Earl Nightingale. What's it called? The World's Summit Secret. The World's Summit Secret. Earl Nightingale. Have a listen to that. Wallace D. Wattles, Science of Getting Rich. And then I like spiritual books. Eric Pepin, Handbook of the Navigator. What else do I like? Conversations with God, are spiritual books. And then another great book I've read, Man's Search for Meaning. That was a very, very powerful book. Talks about a guy who was a prisoner of war, and how even though he was beat, starved and punished, he realised that they couldn't control his thoughts, that he had the power to control them. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Power in educating myself continually so I feel more able to take stuff on, absolutely. The more we learn, the better we get. And don't beat yourself up. I never beat myself up if I fuck something up. So right now, I'm in a bit of a state of, one of my major goals this year was to do a physical event. And I've got an injury. And on reflection, that was me changing something in my training that I thought would help me, and it didn't. It went against me. But I was never going to know that until I tried what I did. So I took the learn from that, rather than being like all pissed off and sad about it. I go through a bit of a recovery phase, and I've just learned that my optimum weight is at least 12 stone. So even though I'm carrying more muscle and more weight, I need that. It gives me that strength. So that was a mistake I made in my training, dropping my weight right down. So life's about lessons. It's about the lesson we can take from it. The science of getting rich, Jason. Not the science of making money. The science of getting rich. Thought you're supposed to be taking a break. I am. Look where I am. I'll show you, Stu. Just laid here in my little wigwam tent by myself, just chilling out. And I was just thinking about what triggered this live. Was about an hour ago. I was thinking about people who somebody commented on one of my posts and said, I take a lot from your posts. I've been following you for a few years, and when I'm in a position to be able to do training, I'll take action. This isn't about me trying to sell training right now, but it's about there's always a way. Don't wait and sit back for it to come for you. Fucking grab life by the balls. Don't be afraid to fucking fail. Go after your shit. Life's too short for fucking fearing things. Life's too short for waiting for the perfect moment. Just get out there, fucking go after it. So yeah, I'm just I'm laid in this little wigwam type thing, chilling out. So I thought I'm gonna do a live about attitude. Attitude wins the game. It's about fucking putting in more. What can you put in more right now? Because I guarantee every single person on this live now, I guarantee you can fucking improve your business. I guarantee you can be paid more in your workplace. I guarantee you can get promoted to higher roles. I guarantee you could be a bit healthier, a bit fitter, a bit smarter, a bit more relaxed. So we've all got room to improve, but you aren't ever going to improve unless you have some fucking desire to change something and you set some goals. Fucking give yourself some targets. So for some people who come on training with me, they say it was because of a video I watched 2 or 3 years ago when I didn't have any money, and videos like this now, they've went off and they've gone and got promoted, they've educated themselves, they've bettered themselves, and then they've come up to me and said, about 3 years ago I was in a rut, watched one of your videos and thought, yeah, do you know what, he's fucking right, I can do more, I could be better, I could be fitter, I could be eating a bit healthier, I could be a bit smarter, I could cut out some of the shit I do, maybe stop fucking knocking about with some of the dickheads I do and who bring me down, and just make those changes. And people come over to me and say that's the reason why I'm in the room today, because I made those changes now. So for me, I say this and I genuinely mean this. It doesn't make any difference to my life if someone signs up for training. I've made £1 million this year from property, and we're in fucking April, so I don't need it. And I care about helping people. So people say, well, if you care about helping people, why don't you do your training for free? Because people don't value what they don't pay for. And I'm a big believer in you've got to put yourself out there. If you want something, be willing to fucking work for it. No one's giving you nothing. It's part of what I teach. So there's free content there on my channels. I'm giving free content right now. Best kept secret. Earl Nightingale, yeah, I think that's it. Sat on the fence with going into a limited company 3 years before I leave the army, upskill myself. What course would you recommend? Well, I'm going to be biased on that. We run business training, and I believe that training is the most highest value training you're going to get in the country. It's Gemma runs that. She's very smart, teaches people how to set up, so the start up, the mindset, your sales, your marketing, your systems, how to build a team, when to build a team, at what points to hire. Most people hire when they're too busy. It's too late by that fucking point. There's an exact science of when you should employ someone. There's a metrics you should be following. Most people don't. They hire when it's too fucking late, when they're overwhelmed. So there's a very specific way how to do business as well. So get on some training with Gemma. Inbox and say I want to get on some training with Gemma. Keith, I'm in a job working long hours but not happy as I have little time to go to the gym. I enjoy gym and keeping fit, but I find it hard to work with work 2 times Monday, Friday and 2 times Friday nights. Miss time with the kids and don't spend as much time as I want to. Money and don't spend as much time as I want to. Money is good. Any advice? What's the question? But not happy as I have little time. Okay, so you need to buy some time back, Keith. If you're not happy with your amount of time, first of all, get honest with yourself. Can you train a bit earlier? Can you get up half an hour earlier a day and get your training done then? So that frees you up a little bit more time. If it was me and my kids and it was bothering me, I'd get my ass up at fucking 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So first of all, you've got to look at yourself and be honest and go, right, how important is my time with my kids? And if that's important to you, then be willing to make a sacrifice. Get up half an hour earlier. If you're already getting up mega early anyway and you're working stupid hours, then you need to fucking change your career. You need to put something in place that's going to allow you to buy back time. And that's what I love about property, is the fact that you can just do so many creative things with it without little effort, without putting a lot of work into it. How do you adjust from army life to civilian in terms of dealing with people? It seems like people are more willing to stab you in the back on the outside. I'm just trying to reflect on that first. I adjusted. I had to adjust because my style was very much tell, and I realised that doesn't work in civilian street. And I know the army's moving as well into a more coaching environment, so it's more about selling. It's about getting the best out of people. So I think just being clear on what it is you want. I know what you mean with that connection that you have in the military, but I've managed to create that in my workplace. I've managed to create that with my clients, my mentees, where we all look out for each other. So I think you can create that, and there's nothing stopping you creating that in a work environment, even if you work for somebody else. Approach your boss and say, I would like everyone to support each other more. Maybe run a club that's where people get together in your work environment and they train together. Try and pull people together. This is the shit I'm talking about, where attitude wins the game. Do shit. Don't just sit back and wait for life to fucking happen to you. It's not happening. Control shit. The people stab you in the back in the military. Yeah, I think you still get it. I think you still get it. I think there's just that unwritten rule where you go on tour, you know the person next to you's got your back. But it's still a competitive field. Michelle looks lush. Yes, it is. It's absolutely stunning. Pleasure, Keith. Chad, how's it going? Hope you're well. Justin, morning dude. Out on my cycle, stop for a coffee, enjoying the journey more than getting to the destination as I do now in life. Yeah, absolutely. There was something that I was thinking about you the other day, because there was a post I put out. I can't remember % left on my battery, so I'm not staying much longer anyway. You asked me a question about having balance in your life, but I think probably knowing you're capable of more, but you're happy with the balance you've got, with the holidays you've got. And I think we probably all have a little bit of that battle. I've just had a bit of a breakthrough in my way of thinking of, I'm the same. I love my holidays. I love taking the 13 weeks off with the kids, and I'm not willing to compromise on that. That's a high value of mine, and I don't see the point in having money if you're not living life, you're not slowing down to enjoy it. But what I have learned is I can have the best of both worlds. So as long as I've got that balance, what works for me, I'm not saying this works for everyone, but I like to work hard in 6-week blocks. So I work for 6 weeks hard, but then I know I've got a week off or 2 weeks off. And I like that because I'm able to switch off when I come out here and just chill out. Although I probably don't I do have my periods of time where I do completely relax, but I've got quite an active mind. So Gemma was saying to me earlier, I'd fucking hate to be in your mind, because I was trying to think of people in the Midlands. How does the sewerage, how did they get rid of it all? Like, if they live in the Midlands and they're nowhere near the sea, where does the sewerage go? And Gemma was like, for fuck's sake, Steve, can't you just switch off? Like, why the fuck are you thinking that? I don't know, I just think shit like that. I need to know the answers to things. So yeah, Justin, where I was going with that is balance. You can push yourself and have goals and have a desire for more, but just don't let it affect your balance. Chad, took me 2 years to adapt, but I always end up in a close network with similar military background, the PIA. Absolutely, yeah. Part of the PIA family where we all look out for each other. Nice tan. Yeah, it's not doing bad. I always tan pretty quickly. I'm quite fortunate like that. On the way to Blackpool with the kids. I love Blackpool. Blackpool's one of my favourite places. That's where I used to go as a kid. My grandma and granddad used to take me there for holiday. We used to go for 4 days in a B&B. And that was my little holiday, because we didn't have money to go anywhere else. So Blackpool's a very special place to me. Sean, I'm still adjusting after a year out. Happy to chat offline, Andrew. Sean, actually, I've got something for you. I don't know if you're still in the UK. I've got some tickets. So I've got a ticket if you want one. You can have it free. Mickey Lawson's coming as well. So I'm going to watch Josh Kelly boxing. He's on Channel 5. So if you want a ticket, give me a shout. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'll give you one more little look before I shoot off.